didn't know if I had to bring anything else up. Gotcha.
All right, so before we start the video, you know what an ARAM is, right? Let's explain what an ARAM is in case there are people who don't even know what this acronym means.
Yeah, I don't know what the full thing is. That's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Okay. All right. So ARAM stands for all random, all middle. It's essentially a game mode that is, and originally it's on a single lane map. You have all 5 players, you have random characters, you don't choose them, and essentially the objective is to continuously push forward. You can't back towards your base for health. You can't back to buy. The only way to go back is to die. You can't exit to the jungle. Like, you're all literally just stuck in the middle, pushing in a 5v5 constantly. Did I miss anything?
Okay. No.
No, that covers it. I mean, I'm not going to go into all of the rules that some people attach to ARAMs. There's different styles of formats that people use.
Yeah, like we kept this simple.
Some people do. Yeah, because some people, you can use portions of the jungle, and I think once Fault develops their own ARAM map, there will be a bit of jungle. That way you can do ganking mechanics too.
Yeah, some of our maps have a little bit of jungle. Some just have like almost like 1 or 2 like very small jungle paths that just literally go around the tower, and that's it. So it really just depends on the map design in its own. But as far as the games that we play, we just keep it super simple. I mean, hell, we're like, you know what? We're all just gonna go in. We're not even gonna really restrict the characters that you can play. Just make sure nobody picks Narbash, just because that healing causes the first death to be at like 20 minutes, which is kind of stupid. And besides that, we're like, hey, you know what? Let's just have fun. YOLO, go in, throw some shit around, try to get some kills. Is there anything that you want to add, like about the general concept before we start?
I want to ask him right here, since we're looking at this team comp. What are some strengths and weaknesses he sees just off of the team comp? Do you think that one team would have a disadvantage or an advantage over the other, and why?
In a 5v5.
Because essentially everyone's in one lane, so every fight is a full team fight, unless you account for staggered deaths. But it's essentially everyone fighting together. So do you think there would be anything standing out in this team comp in particular?
Well, every hero except Murdoch on the bottom team has a stun, or at least a tether from Kwong. So
Yeah,
that CC control, they just target one person and clear them out.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that is true. There is a lot of more CC on the bottom team, that's for sure.
The
damage. A lot of damage at the top team with that Twin Blast Grim and Bellica, though. They just also have a Bellica to counter on the bottom team. So
they do have 2 carries though, so they do have
Twin Blast and Grim every time.
I mean, let's be mindful too. Grim's poke. Grim can literally just stay behind everybody and just zone nonstop, lobbing his Qs and get like consistent damage from a safe distance.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hit play here real quick, just so we can talk while we watch. Oh, yeah, no jungles. You can't back. I mean, it was us explaining shit.
Something I didn't think of. I think everyone should have the tank should have thrown on a Templar. If we had like 3 or 4 Templars going.
That's true. Like in game was like this, like yeah, tanks building Templar. We got what is it? Dude, I can't even think right now.
Your 3 real choices are Magician, King, and Templar. Because King gives you the bonuses on kills, and most of the money you get is coming from kills. Magician, because you can't back in ARAMs, so you've got some mana regen. And then the Templar is just the AoE for armor. If you plan on going full tank, like our Greystone probably should.
Oh shit, Plaz, that's you? I mean, I'll tell you what, the average person probably doesn't run King, and that's gonna, like you said, that's huge. What is King officially? Like, as long as you got how much? Like with an ally within 2,000 units, and you get more gold for kills and assists. I go red regardless.
No, I don't think you have to have anyone near you for the kills. While we're talking here, I'll look at it. I'm pretty sure you have to have people near you for the minions whenever you're CSing. But I think the kills are just standalone.
I'm pretty sure King doesn't give you anything extra for minions.
It definitely. Let me look. Let me pull it up. Aspects. King. Effect 1. Gain an additional 3 gold on lane minions if an ally is within 2,000 units. Effect
Okay, so
2.
3
Receive
gold.
45% gold bonus on hero kills and assists. So you don't have to have anyone near you for the King. For the
minion
kills, but you do for the minions. Yep.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Do you think 3 gold per minion honestly makes that much of a difference? Did you die first here? No.
I did. For these ARAMs, is that what you're talking about?
I think in general.
Or just in general?
Yeah, in general.
I mean, the econ for the minions itself are
like it's not the best. Like, look, I just got 17 gold for that minion, including King. You get me? Like, I get it. Maybe after 100, yeah, maybe after 100 minions, I might have an extra 300 gold. But I'm like, yo, is that really worth it for half of an aspect?
Yeah.
That hurts. Excellent.
But
Don't do that again.
But no, the big thing, I mean, for ARAMs, and I've even find myself doing it in games, is running King just for that that extra bounty on people.
So for me, ARAMs have always been just hey, let's mess around. Like, I'm not gonna take it serious. We're just gonna play type of game mode. But you were saying, I want to say it was either during this match or one of the after matches, that you feel like this, like, playing ARAMs is almost like it's like a really, really good practice, like almost like essential. Why do you think that is?
If you get into the point of like taking comp seriously and the game gets to that point, running these ARAMs are huge for a team synergy. Knowing how to poke with your team, how to initiate, how to chain your CC together, a lot of those things are best done by practicing. And in an ARAM, you can do it and there's not a whole lot of stress behind it.
What I noticed is that you only have one ability right now, so you're doing a whole 5-man team fight with only one ability, so you really got to play out that fight smart.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
And kind of really play together.
There's a whole lot of
definitely weird.
There's strats you can get behind it. Like, you can get to the point of, we're only going to send 2 people out to the lane while the other 3 sit back in towers, so 2 people get levels faster. You can do things like that.
But that also exposes those 2 people to die a lot easier too.
Yeah.
I will say, in the average ARAM, the average ARAM does let everybody start at level 3. It's just because since there is no official ARAM game mode here, everybody's starting in traditional, hey, level 1, yeah.
Gotcha.
Alright, bye, Gray.
This is also good for teams for, like, okay.
You start with the 3 abilities, right? This is like the first 3.
Usually.
You played the ARAM map on League. It's the same. It's that map.
Oh, it's that? Okay.
Yeah, you start with more gold.
like
You start with your. I think we had like level 3 on League.
I got caught. What the
Yeah, usually it's level 3
so
because
I
you get at
remember.
least your level 1 on your first upgrade on all your abilities. Usually.
Okay.
Palpatine.
So it's even harder. Having only one ability starting at level 1.
Yeah, and you notice we're only level 2 at 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Putting the
Yeah,
XP
yeah.
is really tough. I
Just
think you
now
get
hit level
7
3.
XP per minion.
Like, this is one of the biggest ways that you can see
7.
That is against
the deficiency of, like, the gold and the experience off of minions. Like, of course, it's not like at 5 minutes we should all be level 5 or 6. But it's just the fact that after what, our team has 4 kills, arguably a lot of us on our team have an assist on those 4 kills, right? Like, look at me, I'm literally 1 kill, 3 assist, and 14 last hits, and I'm like, oh, nice. I'm level what, 4, I think.
Oh, not good.
I just realized my little volume thing was over. I'm level 3.
Just got 3. Yeah. Not very high for how much has happened.
This also exposes the fact that if you have your jungler staying in your lane for too long for a gank, and they just kind of hang out there, that it can put you behind in levels. Or if your mid laner's over rotating, they'll fall behind because they're not getting their XP.
Some of these characters, like Decker and Grim, are so broken in modes like this just because of the extra rings that they have for absolute no reason. Lol, I just got caught on a minion there.
He's got shredding. He's got shredding on him.
I think it's good with these ARAMs because you get a lot of time to, as a team, practice focusing someone on your kit. And getting into the habit of doing that in the long run is very effective.
Big Cheese doesn't have to leave T2.
Because you have a lot of matches you play in a normal game of Fault where I'm focusing the carry, well, I'm focusing the mage, oh, I'm on the tank, and then you all die and there's 4 of them that are one shot.
Oh, nice.
I mean, you see that right here.
Ooh, bro. Still swinging that shit. God damn, bro.
Real talk, I just wasn't paying attention when I was arguing.
You know, somebody actually brought up a good point. A buddy of mine, I don't know if you guys ever got a chance to play with him back in the day. His name is Brain Freeze. So like he was bringing up the fact that he's like, yo, like I love Fault, but I feel like the beginning of the game is just like a little bit too slow.
For real.
And I know that all XP is shared here and everything,
I'm trying.
but
to get
like
these fucking last
unless you're like absolutely fragging, the first 10 minutes of the game really do kind of like almost linger a little bit. You know what I mean?
Bro, I've been CSing my ass off
Yeah.
right now with all this prep.
I mean, that is the laning phase where, in theory, you're just sitting there fighting the 2 people in your lane or 1 person in your lane.
I mean,
with
yeah,
the
but
occasional jungle rotating.
like, you know, using League as an example, within 10 minutes of the laning phase,
You got him.
you're already like level 9, level 8, and you already got 3 items worth of gold, you know what I mean? Whereas, so like, let's say like in Fall,
You mean like in terms of the economy of the game?
yeah, since we were on the subject, because like in Fall, like after like in 10 minutes of game time, let's say in the dual lane where I do have somebody next to me usually most of the time, that's only gonna equal to, if I'm lucky, 1 full item in boots, if not just 1 full item,
Fucking A, man.
or just boots and 2/3 of an item, you know what I mean, in 10 minutes?
Almost want to back up just so that
I mean, listen to this math. If you're running King, not including siege minions, 100 CS is 2,300 gold. Not including cannons.
I didn't realize that until I was getting.
Yeah, but you gotta be mindful, like what were some of the stats we were looking at? The average master player gets about 55 CS in 10 minutes.
No, I agree. I mean, that was just, I was trying to highlight that like 100 CS doesn't even give you a full item.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, that's a good point. Especially when you consider the fact that in 10 minutes, people usually get, good people usually get half of that. So you're only getting like an extra 1,000 gold in 10 minutes. So it's literally going to take you, what, half an hour to 40 minutes just to get a full item off of the aspect?
Oh,
Dude, what a fucking Decker lob. Yo,
Yeah,
Dabble.
Jack is good with the Decker stun.
Dabble, so talk to me. Tell me, what, just looking at this mayhem that you're watching right now, what do you think about ARAMs? Do you think, just off of first glance, can it actually be useful for learning?
Oh yeah, yeah. There's different ways that you have to play the game. You have to stay here. You have to play with low health. Like you have to.
You think a game
Yeah,
like this
abilities
is
just right.
better for a new player?
I would think so. You can learn the character yourself a little bit better. You can learn how to fight with people a little bit easier. You're not kind of just stuck in a lane by yourself and just said, "Have fun." So
Yeah, we hadn't. You brought up learning the character. We had yesterday where we were playing with the random characters, and K-Dubs played, I think he said 90 days of playtime on Paragon, and he's played a lot on Fault, and he never played a game of Quang.
wow, that's it. You can just try a random hero real quick. It could be like a. I mean, if you start with the level 3 and those abilities, these games would probably go a little bit faster. And
Yeah.
with that,
Yes.
they would just end up being quicker games. You can learn the hero at a decent time instead of maybe sitting in a game for 50 minutes where you're just getting your ass kicked. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it could definitely be helpful.
whenever you get into like seriously thinking about trying to play a game like this on a high level, you have to know what every character can do and what every ability that those characters do. You need to know that Quinn can shred your ability armor with one of his abilities.
That is true. Learning the characters does make you a better player, and sometimes you only really, or your best way to learn what a character can do is by playing the character yourself. That way you can time them out. Like, for example, you were talking about Quang, you can time,
I think they do. Yeah.
like, whenever you see his sword start pointing at the ground, you're like, okay, so he's about to throw the tether. I know that. And then as soon as it goes up in the air, it's like, all right, it's going to take this long for that shit to land because you already got experience of the character. So I can see that.
It can get pretty nitty gritty. So like I played offlane Grux the other day, and it was against an offlane Steel. And the Steel had the feeling of the timing of when I was going to hit my animation for my cleave, and he was interrupting that. And those types of things, learning those for the other characters too, can help the way you fight everyone.
That actually caught me. What an animal.
Fighting a 7, knowing that 7's gonna get stronger the more CS he gets whenever he stacks with the Siphon, you know. Knowing that Bellica's drone pops you for every time you cast an ability. There's a bunch of little things that a lot of people don't really think about. Especially if you never play those characters.
Welcome back.
It's probably going to be the issue for the average new player, you know what I mean? Because even though there's a lot of people that have played games like Paragon before, there's still a lot of changes that have been implemented. Prime example would be like everybody knows what it's like to go up against a Gideon, but not everybody's used to Gideon's new passive in this game, you know?
You're getting targeted.
Yes. No, that was my biggest problem playing League whenever I tried playing League, was there are 150 characters or 140 characters, and every time I would go up to lane, there was a different person I was fighting, and I didn't know anything about their kits. And I mean, I guess if I really wanted to, I could go and learn how to play all of them, you know. But in a situation like playing ARAMs, you get to learn the kits at a much
Faster
less,
pace.
At a faster pace, and it's also just less intense, in my opinion. Like it doesn't feel as stressful as playing a full match.
I gotta say, just as messing around, this is more fun for me.
I know you did not just do that, Plaz. No, bro.
Doing these ARAMs?
Yeah, it's like we're just having fun, you know? We're just chilling.
Still got Plaz. I'll take it.
We played
Like-
a bunch of matches over the weekend that were super intense matches, and just sitting back and playing some ARAMs was very nice.
Yeah, it's like even if there's a sweat factor, it's almost like just pure fun. Because we're just constantly going at each other, you know? We're like we're all chatting. Like we're literally enemy comms and our team's comms are all in the same voice chat, so we can all hear each other. Just chatting with each other, having good time, good vibes, sort of deal, you know?
Yeah, whenever we left your Discord, we went over to the FHN to find people, because I mean we didn't want to manage inviting people to your Discord and shit. We split into two different voice chats, and I didn't like the vibe of that as much. It felt like people were taking it more intense than we were trying to whenever we were playing it. But whenever
That's how you sweat, bro.
True. If you're playing, like, if you're trying to play it competitively, then yeah, you would want two different teams. But whenever we were all just sitting back and like laugh at each other, like, did you like eating that Decker stun, you know?
Go die. Go take a tower shot.
It is a fun aspect of the game.
Oh, did he get a basic off?
Mike didn't even get a basic there. Poor guy. The AU ping.
Seems like some people are just diving in so they get back.
Yes.
Well, yeah, that's a
Because if you
total
dive in the
strat.
tower without getting hit.
Yeah, because of the
Alright, my
top.
time is, it's now.
You got to take advantage. Like, hey man, they're all gone. Jump in the tower, bro. Sacrifice yourself. You die, but they don't get the gold for it. They don't get the bounty.
Ew.
Still now?
Now we don't actually touch the side lanes here, and it's one of those things that, you know, the side lanes progressively start pushing against each other, right? For us, it's more of a timer. Like if the game ends because of the side minions, we took too fucking long. Everybody was being babies.
Does this count as mid lane right here where I threw my sword?
I think whenever we would play, I would almost prefer
Yeah, actually.
just
on top of the ledge.
Like
just as long as
giving them the option, like once the inhib's gone, that's game. Because once the super minions spawn, it's pretty much over anyway.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
really
At that
do
point, you better group and push before the game ends by somebody else.
Well, even if you kill the team that took the inhib, you can't push the wave fast enough. And even if you kill the team and push the wave, the death timers are short enough that they're gonna be right back, and you can't back for health. It's damn near impossible to win at that point.
No way do you not die.
Hey, man, that's
How
why you
long
don't
does
let it get
take
to
for
that
the
point.
minions to take it?
I mean,
We
super
had one
minions.
take it at one point.
It's gonna take a
I
while.
think it was like 55 or 60 minutes.
Yeah, it's up there. That's what I'm saying. Like if the match lasts 50-minute longs, hey man, y'all took too long. This is a 5v5. You got no reason not to group and push, you know?
The reason that one lasted long was because they both ran Narbashes.
That shit was AIDS. At that point, we're
So
like,
they
ain't
were
no
like,
Narbash.
Narbash.
he's aiming at you, Creed. You saw that shit, right?
Now, interestingly enough, I honestly expected a lot more poke and a lot more damage out of your team here, Kick, because you guys had the Grim. And that's basically, you have a Grim and a Decker, so that's just basically free, like, damage from a distance. From a safe distance, specifically.
You notice the experience level of people playing this and how
Yeah,
comfortable people are extending.
No, I'm pretty sure I dashed out of it.
Like, in the gameplay
was
we've been watching, like, you could tell that Turpy was aiming for me the entire time. It's probably just because he knows me, right?
You're also the ADC.
I mean, yeah, but he was aiming for me the whole time. But I will say, like, we both know Turpy's more of a new player that's gotten better, and he's landing a lot of these lobs, quite frankly.
It's good
Scimitar.
practice for your stuns. If you play Decker, I mean, to be able to sit here in a lane and just lob that shit and
Hell yeah,
not have a
bro.
whole lot of consequence for it, it's good to learn those types of abilities. Your skill shots.
Big brains.
If you don't get good at landing Decker stuns after 40 minutes of nonstop Decker stuns, we gotta have a conversation. Oh, we actually, cause Creed is all the way where, like, South Korea, I think. We actually decided to do, and we decided to do an oceanic match, and it was like, holy shit, everybody was like 200-300 ping except Creed. That shit was actually kind of
He
fun.
was at 16 ping playing Twin Blast. I don't think we CC'd him but once that whole game.
Bro, I literally would have to shoot like 4 feet in front of him to be able to predict. I think the one time I actually did predict it, and he walked into my shot, and like I chunked like half his health with a Grim. He was like, "Whoa, like what the fuck?" He still murdered me, but it was a challenge. I felt like, you remember back in the day whenever fighting games came out, and you would have to like play online, and when you hit a button, like a whole like 200 milliseconds later, that's when like the kick actually came through online, and you had to like almost get used to playing with that crazy lag. I don't see how Creed does it. That man is an OG for playing with lag like that on a daily basis.
Yeah, I gained a better appreciation of Creed's gameplay just because I understood that he played on high ping, and I didn't really understand the effect of that much ping. Because I play on EU at 100 ping, and it's not that bad. But when it gets up
Yeah,
into
100
200
ping isn't too horrible, yeah. Dude, be lucky you're at 100 ping on EU. I'm all the way in Florida, man. For me, EU, I'm like, shit. I might as well be connected over there to South Korea. Shit.
Yeah, I'm at like 116, which isn't bad at all.
Hey, can we just
I
admire
have a hard time
the
boxing in
use of the
ADC.
kit there? Pushing them into the stun. Just throwing that out there.
GG. Or GJ. Sorry, game's not over.
Are you on full are you on high quality for your display? Never mind, it just buffered.
Talking about on Discord? No, Discord's gonna limit
Yeah,
it to 720/30. I'm seeing it on full though.
I don't know what to tell you, homie.
I think Dabba would enjoy this because Dabba enjoys fighting as much as he can, which surprises me that he plays offlane.
I'm gonna say I don't think he would. You know why?
You don't think so? Why is that?
Because he's gonna try and go Sevrog mid lane with all these fucking people. And he's literally gonna be like, I can't get fucking stacks.
Dabble will be an ARAM champ as soon as Richter drops.
Oh, bro. But that's if Richter has his pull. Don't forget, there's no guarantee that the original kits will be there.
What?
There's no guarantee original kits will be there. That's like saying every character released so far has their original kit, and that's not the case. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that was just such a big part of his kit.
I agree. I agree, but for example, if they bring back Zinx, and she doesn't have a boomerang, I'm not gonna be mad. I'll be honest with you.
If they don't bring back Zinx, I'm not gonna be mad. I'll be honest with you.
Same, bro. Nobody likes Zinx. Change my mind.
Hit the snipe and buy an item. Oh, you didn't buy?
Well, no.
I always died by him.
Dude, Richter was awesome.
Now, what'd you say?
I'm just saying, you guys are talking about not liking Zinx. Not many people disliked Richter.
That's true.
No,
Richter was kind of strong.
I'm on my way.
I don't see that happening, but it could. You're right. In theory, it could.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's no certainty to it, but he'll probably have his pull because I'm pretty sure the animation for his pull is there.
The mechanic for a pulling ability in a MOBA is pretty common, and also really important for team fights.
Oh,
You know what?
To get a pick like that.
On a random subject, since we just hit that, the mechanic of a pull and above, how do you feel about Grex's pull? The fact that it's super short, but the more you charge it, the more length you get, but you lose width.
I've personally just been using Grux's pull as a secondary engage.
really confused.
The only time I use a pull to actually pull someone towards me is whenever I am at their T1. So if you stand right at the edge of the T1 tower and you charge it all the way, if they are on their half of the T1 tower, it'll pull them to you. Other than that, I don't.
It's got a nice range if you charge it. I mean, but that's because you play jungle a ton. Like when I use them on solo, like it's the way wave play is crazy. You can literally pull the enemy hero and all the minions on the lane, and cleave the minions and the enemy hero, and dash towards them and knock them up and never draw minion aggro. It's ridiculous.
I don't even know how you are.
Perfectly balanced.
Perfectly balanced, bro.
CS wins games. You're right.
This game in particular.
No, you're totally right.
Dude, I'll be honest, man. In this like shit show of a 5v5, I'm honestly extremely like amazed that I'm at 91 CS, even in 25 minutes.
How many spots will open up? But
I put that on my talking points. I need to look at these.
You had talking points?
I just things that I wanted to include in this in the ARAM stuff. Being able to fight in and also CS is something that takes practice.
That is true. Being able to like disengage and focus on CS and not miss those extra couple minions that you could have had. Or even worse, when you have teammates that are taking your CS.
Why are we group?
No, just like if you're in a situation where you guys are, poking each other, but you're still grabbing that farm.
Look at my potato ass missing these shots here. Rip.
I'm confident Spare is the best ADC for this.
For this, probably because of the ult. I don't know. That Murdoch snipe whenever they're low and they're trying to like hide like babies back there. That shit comes in clutch.
Yeah, Sparrow has a 5-second snipe.
I mean,
Right click is huge.
yeah, but you also got to be way more exposed. One decker stun while you're trying to land that snipe, and I could be back at my base and hit that snipe. I just realized
as an ARAM that right click is the move.
Bro, I just confused the shit out of myself. I was like, why is fault metrics popping up on the screen? What the hell am I doing? That was fucking in the match.
We should, at the end of this video or whatever, plug Fault Hub Network and what
Metrics?
they are doing with ARAMs.
Oh,
no,
I got you. Fault Hub Network and like their ARAM randomizer and everything. It's really nice.
Well, they're also hosting. I believe they're hosting like ARAMs every Saturday.
If I'm not mistaken, they're actually doing an ARAM tournament. Oh, poor kick.
I ate every steel ult every game. And the reason that I was eating these steel ults all the time is because I was one of the furthest ones up. And that was kind of a problem because we needed to be able to have presence to make the other team not so comfortable all the way up there. I noticed in the ARAMs that we played yesterday that you could kind of tell before level 2 which team felt way more comfortable in the fight. Because one team stays under their T1 and the other team pushes up.
Yeah, but that's usually based off of the first 20 seconds of poke. And
I think you can tell a lot based off of how it starts.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell a lot by the fact that you see, honestly, in a lot of ARAMs, you see the like super low level tanks run in, get melted, and then for the rest of the game, they're playing almost like a little bit too passive.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So,
and like that affects their mentality.
For these ARAMs, it's hard to get items. It's hard if you're trying to let your ADC and your caster get the kills. It's hard to actually be tanky because you don't have any way of getting any gold because your ADC is taking the CS. You're getting passive gold drip and assists, and that's it.
Bro, if you're a tank building green items in an ARAM, you're struggling. Like if you're gonna build tank, white items are the way to go. Support items. They give you tankiness. They give you the armor. They give you actives to help your team. Like I don't see why you should use anything else.
He said, "You're welcome."
Like why waste over $3,000 on a green item where for $4,000 you can have 2 white items with useful actives and arguably similar armor, you know?
I'll be really haven't thought that far ahead on item builds for tanks and ARAMs.
I stay thinking about builds, bro.
I know you do.
I know you do. Hey, don't judge me like that.
We got into like a 35-minute discussion over T-Fist versus Crossbow on
Crux?
Greystone.
Oh. No, hey, Greystone and Grux, all about the gob glue. Changed my mind.
Yeah, we already established gob glue. We were talking about T-Fist and Crossbow and which one would be more beneficial.
He never runs out of aim.
Dabble, you're a little quiet.
I leaned heavily.
Any thoughts on anything? On like our conversation or the match?
GG.
I'm just sitting here watching the ARAM. I'm sorry.
He said, I'm just chilling. I was about to say, this man went quiet as hell. Right? He's got his popcorn ready and shit. It's entertaining.
Play one? We've got 18 right here. We might be able to put one together.
Yeah, I mean,
make a lot of good points. There's a lot of things to be thinking about.
Lego.
A lot of things you can learn in these fights.
Because at the end of the day, you're playing the same heroes. Whether you're playing an ARAM or you're playing this, they're the exact same champs. They do the exact same things.
Everybody sweats.
You're using the exact same items. The biggest benefit is you get to practice this using your abilities with your character, synergizing that with the rest of the team. Because a lot of games I've felt like the team who doesn't know how to 5v5 loses. Because Steel ults in and then Grux just sits there, or there's no Decker cage, or there's a Decker cage and no Steel ult afterwards, or there's no Gideon ult over top of the whole fight. Like, if you don't learn how to combo everything together and work as a team in the fights, then it's going to be really hard to outplay anyone.
I think the only downfall I can see from an ARAM is if people play them too much, they'll go into a regular game and possibly just start doing that. Just focus on that middle lane.
I
and
mean,
just try and push and push and push.
Well, probably not just the middle lane. Think about it. Like, imagine you're a solo laner and you've been playing Greystone and ARAMs. Now, for the first 5 minutes, you're legit the definition of holding W key and bullying, and you know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that would be a good thing or a bad thing, because it probably might work to somebody's playstyle. You know what I mean?
Look at Scimitar.
Like I know.
feel like I was more health conscious in these ARAMs because I couldn't back. I was
see that.
trying to pay more attention on when I was going up to take shots, when I was going to use my mana, because I couldn't.
So you're
back.
saying you don't think about that as much in mid, like whenever you're playing like normal mid, for example, because you were Bellica here?
I mean, you can play more aggressive. You can go up. I can go up there and drop a kit and be one shot, and then go back, and I'm fine. In the ARAM, based on the rules, you can't back. So, you know, if you go up there and you mess up and you almost die, well, now you can't really do anything for a long time.
Or telling the truth.
I mean, I see it. I don't know. Like I find myself in the ARAM playing similar, if not exactly how I would in a normal PvP. Like I got my aggressive moments, I got my moments where I'm like, hey, I gotta back the fuck up. You know, I get cocky at times, sometimes a little too cocky. But I'm like, you know what? Like, fuck it.
Knowing that neither team can heal,
That steal just saved your life.
really highlights the value of poking with your abilities.
I mean, yeah. Like we were talking about, like practicing mechanically and being able to land all that definitely becomes a trade that's better for you in the long run.
Got it.
The carry usually wins against tower there, bud.
You think the Steel versus Greystone was a big influence here?
I think it was definitely a factor. You guys had good synergy. I mean, you guys had Jacka and its Mike as Decker and Bellica, and they were... The Quang would hit a tether, the Decker would stun whoever that was, the Bellica would knock them up. They were chaining their CC very well together, and
That I just somehow missed every single
that was changing a lot of the fights. But having a steal, I think in these ARAMs is huge. I think having a steal in normal games is huge.
True. The amount of CC he provides in general, it's really good. Now, interesting to note, Dabble. Whenever we do these ARAMs, we try our best to just solo queue. We don't actually like distributing the teams and then going that way, because we're trying to let like the in-game matchmaking system sort it out and try its hardest to make it fair, like balance the teams that way. Which, I mean, I don't know, because you had, like I was saying, you had Scimitar on your team, and I know Scimitar is a great player. I've been playing against Scimitar for years.
I know the elo in this match was not balanced. I don't know how the matchmaking worked out this team.
Well, as to... I mean, yeah, I guess. Because the only person I don't know, like, as far as elo range is probably Bass. Do you know what range Bass is at?
Let me find it here. Yeah, Bass is almost... He's either high plat, diamond, or master, some shit like that. I'm looking up now. I can pull up the match on. Plug it.
Well, and you got to think of it. You got to think of it like this too. As far as their matchmaking system is concerned, I'm a Goldie, bro. You know what I mean? So, as far as the system's concerned, maybe it is being balanced.
Let me find it here and I'll read it.
Lol, the minions.
Is this our first one?
Damn, I got a ton of gold. 4K. What the fuck?
We should be able to actually search that last match, no? Or
Yes, I'm on Fault Mythic right now.
Are you checking under my name? Because that's probably the easiest way to find it.
Under what? I already got it. I'm looking at it right now.
I'm looking at it too.
What a
Let me see. Turpy was 11, Mike is 19, Scimitar 16, Baytrees is 10. So Baytrees and Turpy balance out. But that's Jacka too. Damn.
Let's go handle
Jacka's alt is 1083 elo.
I think I read
YOLO.
it.
No, you don't. You don't start that low. You start at 1200. So he must have lost a few.
He's played less than 20 games.
So he probably just lost a few.
What are my stats?
What are
You're
my
like high plat
stats?
actually. I think you're
Do
like
what?
17. You're high plat. Go on faultmetrics.com.
Dibble dabble. You're 1756 platinum right now. Is what you are. You've been on a steady
Hey.
climb ever since. Oh, I can't see the day. They don't show the date anymore. But from when you started, you went on like a zigzag up, down, and then you just reached a point where you just kept on climbing on a steady basis. You've been doing good, man.
Hey, I'm out here.
Hey, stunning, bro.
We have a good win rate together.
Bro, don't even get me started on those win rates with Kick.
83 and 30.
It's your Colombian. I've lost him 9 times.
Hey, but you've won one. That's more than most can say. You're 6 and 2 against Plato. That's interesting. Nuts.
Dude. Yo, hey, go to my account. Go to my account and look at my ratio with Kick.
I'm getting focused. Oh, nice. Guitar.
Ridiculous.
Guitar's on it, bro.
Hold up, Kick. That's it.
Yo, it's crazy.
Oh, you're watching mine.
Yeah, I've been watching the whole time.
I guess my two.
Let's see it.
You were watching Windu shit through my shit?
I couldn't pull his up. It says you were hosting somebody else.
You just had to click it on the Discord, dude. You screen sharing it.
Oh, I have not opened Discord this whole time.
Damn, bro. I gave everybody a time frame. And I was like, hey, let me know when y'all got it pulled up. Oh my god.
Way too damn long.
14 and 21.
Oh my
Oh.
gosh.
14 and 21, bro.
That's
That was a good one.
welcome back.
I don't know what I'm doing sometimes.
That was a good bubble.
47 and 46 on these
Really good
accounts.
bubble. Oh, that's
14 and 21. Kick, bro. That hurts down inside.
God.
But no, man. Like my whole thing on these ARAMs, it's just the fact that I think they're like really good mechanically, but a lot of people have actually brought up the point that, hey, like, should we have an ARAM mode with such small player base instead of a 5v5? Would the community enjoy the game more by doing so instead of a 5v5?
I would definitely prefer it staying custom until the player base increases. They can't split the population.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, you have like a lot of MOBAs in the past, they initially start with like a 1-lane or a 2-lane map until the population grows, and then they release the 5-lane map. Like, what I'm saying is not necessarily splitting the population, but just maybe toning it down, like restricting that 5v5 mode for like a future date and releasing something more simplistic like a 1-lane or a 2-lane map for people to be able to just practice, play the game more, because it is in early access. You know what I mean? Like, do you get kind of what I'm vibing there, or what I'm saying? No, maybe sometimes on Tuesday.
I see what you're putting out. I mean, I don't quite think that I would want that. I don't know if the people who are playing it for a MOBA would want that. I think the people who enjoy the ARAMs would love it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I get you, and I agree. Because if I'm looking for a MOBA, I don't want to play ARAMs. Like, for me, ARAMs are for fun. MOBAs are for actually, like, you know, practicing, bettering myself, actual challenge, etc. But like, my mindset is, if we have, because we got a mixed population here. We have either old Paragon players or just new players in general, and we've come across both of those over the last few months, right? And it is one of those things that new players are definitely going to struggle in the 5v5 format first. That's why a lot of games like Smite make you do an ARAM type game mode until you reach a certain level on your account, like level 3, level 5, or something like that. And then once you have certain experience with your mechanics, then they let you play the 5v5. Same thing with League of Legends. You know, they make you play bots and stuff like that. Like, that's a whole different conversation. But what I'm saying is having new players dive into a really complex 5v5 really the best way to keep people in the game?
I don't have an answer. Dab, what do you think?
Is Dabble here?
I don't know.
Oh, this man's like eating Kit Kats or something, bro. He just unmuted himself.
Sorry. I was listening though. Yeah, I just don't know. Because it would change the game completely if you move it down just to one lane.
Well, I mean, yes, but what if they actually just...
Everybody having the rules, everybody could just play like a support character.
What if they lowered it down to... And these are just throwing ideas out there, right? You guys are... I don't know if you guys ever got a chance to test it, but League of Legends at one point had a 2-lane 3v3 map. That was a lot more casual. You could still play, you could still lane, and it was basically 2 laners and a jungler, because it was a jungle in between. And that was basically an introduction to, like, players that weren't used to the 5v5 could play the 3v3, and then once they got used to the 3v3, they could then go and apply those skills to the 5v5 just on a much larger scale. But you could still practice the same sort of mechanics. You get what I'm saying there? Like, I'm just trying to think of ideas where matches don't last as long. The player base can try to learn a little bit more because it's a more simplistic tone down. Because it's a lot easier to handle a match in a 3v3 as opposed to a 5v5. You get what I'm saying there?
Yeah. A lot less to focus on.
Yeah, like just throwing ideas. Because I know everybody, like, long term, everybody wants a 5v5. I want the 5v5 for sure. The conquest mode, as a lot of people say.
If it became a 3v3, I will say that could cut down on queue times.
It probably would a ton. You got more matches going. You got shorter matches going. Let's think about it. You kill 3 people, you push. It's not like, oh, now we got to worry about the other 2 that are alive. You know what I mean?
Well, also it takes 6 people instead of 10.
True. That maybe they can actually
look at it that way.
Like, maybe they can actually perfect their MMR by comparing 3 people versus 3 people as opposed to 5 versus 5.
All right, so my chat wants to play some ARAMs. Y'all want to play some ARAMs since we just watched the video on it?
I'm down for it. Let me end the recording here and let's hit it up.